evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Poynter Institute for Negligent Newscasting and Excessively Libelous Literature, also known as PNEL. Tonight, we focus on the Middle East, specifically Iran. Their nuclear program has stirred quite a bit of concern globally. Iran has been suspected of building nuclear weapons, and concern has arisen that said weapons might be aimed at nearby Western nations, including the United States. There are expectations from many nations for some action to be taken by the United Nations. If the UN does not take effective action, the United States is expected to step up and coerce Iran to end the program. Either way, a global security crisis could be on hand, or the Ayatollahs could just be attempting to use nuclear energy to provide for their citizens. Here's the story. We'll get live reports from Jack Pinnell with Al Jazeera and Gates Skiffington Lucas from the International Herald Tribune. But now, we go to our Cuban correspondent from CNN, someone who has hair not quite as flowing or luscious as mine, Miguel Silva. Miguel, what new developments have you come across?
Bienvenidos. I'm Miguel Silva, reporting from Havana Harbor, representing PNEL. CNN recently released a video about the Iranian nuclear program with a substantial amount of bias. First off, the video is titled, "Iran Blasted for Nuclear Program." This immediately sends a message to the viewer in favor of the anti-Iranian perspective. The video also suffers from overgeneralization, in which the opinions of the three Western leaders, President Obama, Prime Minister Gordon Brown, and French Foreign Minister Bernard Kouchner, are interpreted to represent the opinion of all Western leaders. The anti-Iran agenda of the video is further portrayed when two video clips of Ahmadinejad walking in an airport are slowed down to portray Ahmadinejad as a criminal and make the scene more dramatic, especially compared to the sophisticated settings in which the Western leaders are shown. The reporter goes on to state that Ahmadinejad, quote, went on the offensive against Western sentiment, obvious evidence of inflammatory newscasting. Furthermore, Ahmadinejad's statement appears to have been taken out of context. The statement, in which Ahmadinejad tells the Western nations that it is none of their business to tell Iran what to do, contains no evidence that the statement is referring to the nuclear conflict. As you can see, CNN has suffered mightily from media bias. Now to Albert Zarqawi in Kazakhstan.
Good evening and death to America. I am Al Zarqawi reporting live from Kazakhstan on the bias in Riz Khan of Al Jazeera's expose of the nuclear double standard. Khan reports that the US maintains a sort of don't ask, don't tell policy in regard to Israel's nuclear stockpile, while completely denouncing Iran's right to a nuclear program. Khan shows bias by his use of an ad hominem argument against Israel. He talks extensively about the pacts made between Israel and Richard Nixon, a less reputable US president, regarding nuclear weapons. Khan's bias is evident in that he tries to associate Israel with a corrupt politician in order to support Iran's motives. For more on media bias, we go to Gates Skiffington Lucas, reporting from Yale University. Gates.
Oh hi, didn't see you there. I'm Gates Skiffington Lucas, reporting live from PNEL. Today I'll focus on some of the media bias in the International Herald Tribune. One of the Tribune's leading journalists, John Vinokur, reported the recent developments in Iran concerning Iran's nuclear capabilities. Vinokur focuses on the perspective of Iran's nuclear program within the US. He outlines what Obama is doing in response to Iran's activities and what other US officials believe the right course of action should be. Vinokur clearly expresses a national bias towards America. Vinokur states that in the article that he believes this is an American moment and that we should be decisive in our response in order to make Iran fearful. Vinokur has taken Iran's issue and internalized it into an American issue. Vinokur also expresses a clear political bias. He criticizes President Obama's response to Iran's nuclear program and believes that Obama is being indecisive. Vinokur believes that Obama's solution of using sanctions to coerce Iran to stop using nuclear energy is ineffective and that the harsh military action is the best solution. Vinokur clearly favors a right-wing response in this article that runs counter to Obama's liberal response. Now, back to the studio with our main host, Chester. Chester?
Well, sounds like our news sources have some serious bias incorporated into them. Tune in for your local news tonight at 11. Thank you, everybody, and good night.